Choose the best answer. Which of the following parts of our body help us in movement? Answer option A, bones and muscles. Bones and muscles are the parts of our body help us in movement. Which one of the following organisms lack muscles and skeleton for movement? Answer option C, earthworm. Dash joints are immovable. Answer option C, upper jaw and skull. Upper jaw and skull joints are immovable. Why do underwater divers wear fin-like flippers on their feet? Answer option A, to swim easily in water. To swim easily in water. External ear pinna is supported by option B, cartilage. External ear is supported by cartilage. Cockroach moves with the help of its answer option A, leg. Cockroach moves with the help of its leg. Which one of the following categories of vertebrae are correctly numbered? Answer option A, cervical 7. Cervical 7. Fill in the blanks. Movement of organisms from place to place is called dash. Answer locomotion. Movement of organisms from place to place is called locomotion. Dash refers to change in position of the part of an organism's body. Answer movement. Movement refers to change in position of the part of an organism's body. A structure which provides rigid framework to the body is called as answer skeleton. A structure which provides rigid framework to the body is called skeleton. Axial skeleton in human consists of dash, dash, dash and dash. Answer skull, ribs, sternum and vertebral column. Axial skeleton in human consists of skull, ribs, sternum and vertebral column. Appendicular skeleton in human consists of dash and dash. Answer pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle. Appendicular skeleton in human consists of pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle. The place where two bones meet is termed as dash. Answer joint. The place where two bones meet is termed as joint. Dash is attached to soft parts of the body like blood vessels, iris, bronchi and the skin. Answer non-striated. Non-striated is attached to soft parts of the body like blood vessels, iris, bronchi and the skin. Dash muscle makes pupil of eyes wider. Answer radial. Radial muscles makes pupil of eyes wider. State true or false. If false, correct the statement. Skull in humans consists of 22 bones. Answer true. There are 12 pairs of ribs in human body. Answer true. Pelvic girdle is a part of axial skeleton. Answer false. The correct statement is pelvic girdle is a part of appendicular skeleton. Hinge joint is slightly movable joint. Answer false. The correct statement is hinge joint is freely movable joint. Cardiac muscle is a voluntary muscle. Answer false. Cardiac muscle is an involuntary muscle. The flexor and extensor muscle of the arm are antagonistic muscles. Answer true. Answer very briefly. What is skeleton? The hard structure or framework which supports and protects the body is known as skeleton. What is cranium? The bones of the skull which encloses the brain is called as cranium. Why our backbone is slightly movable? The vertebrae of backbone are joined by gliding joint. It allows only very, that is partial movement between two vertebrae. Differentiate axial and appendicular skeleton. Axial skeleton, it consists of the bones along the axis or central line of the human body. Appendicular skeleton, it contains the bones in the appendages of the body as well as the structures that connect the appendages to the axial skeleton. Axial skeleton, it consists of the skull, sternum, that is breastbone, ribs and vertebral column. Appendicular skeleton, it comprises the pectoral girdle and the pelvic girdle. What is ligament? Ligaments are short bands of tough fibrous connective tissue that function to connect one bone to another, forming the joint. Define muscle. Muscle is the bundle of contractile tissue. Differentiate tendons and ligaments. Tendons, they are strong and non-flexible fibrous cords of tissue. Ligaments, they are flexible and elastic fibrous cords of tissue. Tendons, they attach muscle to bone. Ligaments, they attach bone to bone. Tendons connect the end of the muscles to any place of the bone. Ligaments, it connects bones to bones at a joint. Answer briefly. Differentiate between the following: movement and locomotion. Movement is the act of changing the place or position by one or more parts of the body. Locomotion is the movement of an organism from one place to another. Movement, it can either be voluntary or involuntary. Locomotion, it is always voluntary. A movement takes place at the biological level. Locomotion takes place at the organism level. Movement requires energy. Locomotion doesn't necessarily require energy. B. Endoskeleton and exoskeleton. Differentiate between endoskeleton and exoskeleton. Endoskeleton, it is the skeleton that is found on the exterior layer of the body. Exoskeleton, it is the skeleton that is found inside the human body. Endoskeleton, it is basically originates from embryonic ectoderm or mesoderm. Exoskeleton, it originates from the mesoderm. Endoskeleton, scales in the fish's outer hard layer of the tortoise and feathers of the birds. Exoskeleton, it is found in almost all vertebrates. Endoskeleton, it protects and preserves the inner organs. Exoskeleton, it forms the main body structure. Pectoral and pelvic girdle. Pectoral girdle, it is situated in the shoulder region. Pelvic girdle, it is situated in the hip region. Pectoral girdle, it is made up of two bones, that is clavicle and scapula. Pelvic girdle, it is made up of 3 bones, that is ilium, ischium and pubis. Pectoral girdle, it gives articulation to forelimb bones. Pelvic girdle, it gives articulation to hind limb bones. Pectoral girdle, the back muscles are attached to the pectoral girdle. Pelvic girdle, the hip muscles are attached to the pelvic girdle. Pectoral girdle, it is relatively less strong. Pelvic girdle, it is relatively more strong. Ball and socket joint and hinge joint. Ball and socket joint, a ball shaped head of one bone articulates with a cup like socket of an adjacent bone. Hinge joint, a cylindrical protrusion of one bone articulates with a trough shaped depression of an adjacent bone. Ball and socket joint, movement can occur in 3 planes. Hinge joint, movement is restricted at one plane. Ball and socket joint, this joint allows the greatest range of movement. Hinge joint, this joint allows bending and straightening only. Ball and socket joint, example shoulder hip. Hinge joint, elbow, knee, ankle. Voluntary and involuntary muscle. Voluntary muscle, they are under our will or control. Involuntary muscle, they are not under our will or control. Voluntary muscle, they are also called striated muscles since they show stripes or striations. Involuntary muscle, they are also called non-striated muscles since they lack striations. Their cells are long and cylindrical. Involuntary muscle, their cells are small and spindle shaped. Voluntary muscle, they have multinucleate cells. Involuntary muscle, they have uninucleate cells. Voluntary muscle, biceps, triceps, respiratory, alimentary and urogenital tracts are the places where voluntary muscles are found. Involuntary muscle, cardiac muscle, abdominal muscles, locomotory muscles, middle ear muscles, diaphragm are the examples of the involuntary muscles. Second question, what are antagonistic muscles? Give one example. Antagonistic muscles are actually the muscle that opposes the action of another muscle. Muscles often work in pairs which work against each other. Example, the pair of biceps and triceps are antagonistic muscles. They are working against each other. When the biceps contracts, the lower arm is raised and the arm bends. In this position, the triceps muscle is relaxed. To straighten the arm, the reverse happens. Third question, how is the skeleton of a bird well situated for flying? Bones of birds are light and strong. They are hollow and have air spaces between them. The breastbones are modified to hold massive flight muscles which help in moving wings up and down. What are the functions of skeleton in human body? It provides structure and shape of the body. It supports and surrounds the internal organs of the body. Calcium and phosphorus, the two minerals that the body needs for important regulatory functions, are stored inside the bones. Red blood cells are produced in the bone marrow. The bones of the skeletal system act as levers for muscular action. Answer in detail. Name the different types of joints. Give one example for each type. Depending on the type of movement they allow, joints can be of three types: fixed or immovable joints. In this type of joint, no movement is possible between the two bones. Example, the structures between the bones of the skull box. Slightly movable joints, here only very little, that is partial movement occurs between the two bones. Example, the joint between a rib and the breastbone or between the vertebrae. Freely movable joints. In this type, varying degree of movements is possible between the two bones forming the joint. There are 6 major types of movable joints. Movable joints and example: ball and socket. Example, shoulder and hip. Hinge joint. Example, elbow, knee and ankle. Pivot joint, spine, that is atlas or axis joint at the top. Condyloid, wrist. Gliding. Example, spine between the bony process of the vertebrae. Then saddle. Example, thumb, shoulder and inner ear. Write about the human axis skeleton giving suitable label diagram. The axial skeleton consists of the bones along the axis or central line of the human body. Skull is a hard structure made up of small bones. It is formed by 22 bones, out of which 8 bones are fixed together to form the cranium and 14 bones fused to form the face. Vertebral column. Vertebral column running at the back of the body is also called a spine or the backbone. It is in the trunk region to offer support to the upper part of the body. Vertebral column is made up of individual bones called as vertebrae. Total vertebral column, that is third three, consists of 7 cervical vertebrae, 12 thoracic, 5 lumbar vertebrae, 5 fused sacral and 4 fused coccygeal vertebrae. The functions of vertebral column are given below. It protects the spinal cord, it supports the head, it serves as an attachment for the ribs, it provides support and place of attachment for the pectoral and pelvic girdle, it provides movement for the human skeleton, it helps in walking and standing erect correct posture. Sternum or ribcage. Ribcage occupies the chest region. It is a cone-shaped structure made up of 12 pairs of ribs. Ribcage is set up in such a way that it can contract and expand during the process of breathing. Ribcage protects the underlying lungs, heart, and some part of liver. Discuss various types of movement seen in living organisms. Earthworm. The body of earthworm is made up of many rings joined end to end. It has muscles which help to extend and shorten the body. Under its body has a large number of bristles called setae which are connected with the muscles. These bristles help to get grip on the ground. During movement, the earthworm first extends the front part of the body, keeping the rear portion fixed to the ground. Then it fixes the front end and relaxes the rear end. It then shortens the body and pulls the rear end forward. This makes it forward by small distances. Repeating such muscle contraction and relaxations, the earthworm can move through soil. A slimy substance secreted by its body helps this movement. Cockroach. A cockroach has 3 pairs of jointed legs which help it to walk, run, and climb. It also has 2 pairs of wings for flying. Large and strong muscles help in the movement of legs. The body is covered by chitin, a light protective material. Chitin is set regularly so that the body can grow. Birds. Birds can walk on the ground and fly as well. Some birds can also swim in the water. A bird has streamlined body. Its bones are light and strong. They are hollow and have air spaces between them. The hind limbs of birds are modified as claws which help them to walk and perch. The breastbones are modified to hold massive flight muscles which help in moving wings up and down. Birds have special flight muscles and the forelimbs are modified as wings. The wings and the tail have long feathers which help in flying. Birds have 2 types of flight, gliding and flapping. Snake. The body of snake consists of a large number of vertebrae. The adjoining vertebrae, ribs and skin are interconnected with slender body muscles. When the snake moves, it makes many loops on its sides. The forward push of the loops against the surface makes the snake move forward. Movement of snake is called slithering movement. Many snakes can swim in water also. Fish. Fish swims with the help of fins. They have 2 paired fins and an unpaired fin. The body of a fish is streamlined to reduce friction while moving in water. They have strong muscles which help in swimming. When a fish swims, its front part curves to one side and tail part stays in the opposite direction. In the next move, the front part curves to the opposite side and the tail part also changes its position to another side. The caudal or tail fin helps in changing direction. Fourth question, what is a streamlined body? How does it help in the movement of animals that fly or swim in water? The body that is thicker in the middle and tapers at both ends is known as streamlined body. This shape is known as streamlined body. In order to overcome the friction, animals are adapted with a streamlined shape. The shape of birds and certain animals like fishes are called streamlined. This shape allows water to move easily around the body and offers least resistance to its flow. Thus, it helps the animal to swim easily. This shape also helps the bird to fly as it makes it easy for them to move through the air. The air can easily cut through the sides of the body and offers least resistance. Fifth one, write a short note on different types of muscles. Muscles found in higher vertebrates are of 3 types: striated or skeletal muscles or voluntary muscles, unstriated or smooth muscles or involuntary muscles, and cardiac muscles. Muscle, location and characteristics. Muscle, striated or skeletal or voluntary muscle, location attached to bones found in arms, legs and neck. Characteristics, multinucleate, unbranched and voluntary. Muscle, non-striated, smooth, involuntary muscle, location attached to soft parts of the body like blood vessels, iris, bronchi and the skin. Characteristics, single central nucleus and involuntary. Muscle, cardiac muscle, location heart. Characteristics, branched 1 to 3 central nuclei, involuntary. Thank you.